Hey, besties. Let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Now, was the reunion giving? Was it telling? So, in the beginning, they flew to Los Angeles for the reunion. Child, so, the showrunner is running to everyone's dressing room and all that. And so we got Kimmy. She comes in. They got the pow pow sound effects when she talks about how she ready for everybody. She got smoke for everybody that's been talking about her behind her back. Then the showrunner goes in and sees what's up with Destiny. She's having a major dress malfunction. Her dress is damaged. Her stylist ran to the showroom to find another dress. He goes and snitches on Destiny because in comes Carlos 2 seconds later. Can we talk? I need to check on you and check you because we're running behind and you got to get on this stage. She said, okay, 20 minutes. And he just walked out. She was like, he don't believe me. Then the showrunner goes in and meets the Fletchers and say what's up because this is their first reunion. Child, Miss Nell's getting ready. The girl is powdering her breast. She asked her husband, how's my breast looking? And honey, they still in love from their vow renewal, honey, because honey, the music turned on. It was giving, rated X movie soundtrack music. It was giving soft romance movie. He all then the showrunner comes in and child Chris is still, in horn dog state. So baby, his nut said, who is it? when the showrunner knocked on the door, Chris like, who is it? He was like, nuh-uh, don't stop now. So then he goes and checks on Martell. Martell like, I got a secret. It's deep in my heart. And I can't even tell my friends. And so he like, oh, you got a secret? Okay. And then the boxing ring, alarm bell rings. I'm like, child, these sound effects are cracking me up. Martell, what you finna tell us? Is that why you sitting there and unhinged and can't get your facts straight? Goodness. It was a lot going on even before the reunion started, honey. But baby, welcome, besties. You are now behind the shade, and thanks for joining me. I review your favorite reality shows weekly. Now let's kiki and ha ha and get into another episode. It's Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 9. This is episode 14. Rest and Relaxation is the name of this episode. Do we like the title? No, it just needs to be called Reunion Part 1. That's it. But besties, how would you rate this week's episode? How would you rate the first of 3 reunions? What was it giving? What was it giving? Drop down in the comments and let me know. And don't forget to like the video. You know you got to do your work. Make sure you like this video. I know by now you're subscribed to the channel and you got your notification bell on. Ding dong, so that you are notified each and every time I post my content, honey. I know you done that. I'm not even gonna ask, but I will confirm. Okay. Who? So Martell. So wait, the way it starts, everybody was pulling up separately, in the Cadillac, but it was the same driver. If y'all peeped, it was the same driver. So it's the Fletcher's first reunion. It's Marceau's birthday also. So this is in October because what I do remember is Marceau is a Libra, just like Carlos, King, and Marquez. So Destiny's dress is damaged. The stylist went to get another dress. Blah blah blah. What else? Okay, we don't have to get into that. We don't have to get into that. Okay. So Carlos introduces everyone, So first up, it's the amazing Kimmy and Maurice. That's their intro. And she like, hey friend, oh, you look like you ready. Oh, she ready. You ready to read me, Kimmy? I'm reading everybody. And here go Dr. Martin Luther King, Maurice Scott Jr. So then Carlos introduces the Fletchers, gonna call them the seasoned Fletchers. And they'll say, oh, that was shady. That was shady. And he's like, look, you guys are dressed alike. You looking like some Laurie's seasoning, looking like the bottle of Laurie's. So then he introduces Marceau and Tisha, and he's like, here comes the sassy Marceau and Tisha. And they come out like, oh, you just gotta call me sassy, huh? And Carlos like, oh, it look like you're losing weight. You're losing weight. Because Marie, what I remember, did y'all hear this before the seasons, before the show started? I heard Maurice and Marceau went and got like a gastric bypass. I think I remember seeing some pictures. They were outside like playing tennis or something, and they were huge. So Marceau has been battling, because I remember when they were at Kimmy and Maurice's place, and that's when Melody had invited them to come the same time as Marceau was big then. He was huge. When they sat down to eat, Marceau was huge. So not like super big, but he had put on some weight. So yeah, Carlos has noticed that he's slimming down. So he be going up and down, and so does Tisha. And so he like, yeah, Carlos being shady. And so look at so Carlos gonna say, look at Marceau. He work in the room saying hi to everybody because he don't want nobody to read him. And so we're like, what? He said, I ain't never been read on this stage. And so Carlos looks at us like, okay, Nick. So then he was like, speaking of reading, he introduces Martell. Martell comes out, he clapping for himself. Go ahead, Martell, because what you gonna do is root for yourself. If nobody else roots for you, you gonna root for yourself. Him in his tidy whitey white suit. And he always got a comment on Carlos like, oh, I see we dressed alike. Carlos is like, well, I'm wearing cream. And so Martell says off-white. Whatever. Y'all both wearing the same colors, whatever. So then Carlos is like, yeah, I heard I'm on your vision board. And so Martell is like, no, I think it's the opposite way. And I'm like, yeah, Carlos, I don't know you to be we don't know you to be a dresser like that, Carlos. You cool, but you ain't no Chris Fletcher. Now let's call a thing, honey. Chris Fletcher, no, he could dress down, honey. He could dress to the bone. And Martell can dress. We just don't like those tight suits, but he can dress. He be putting it together. And he does that because he know his body is nice. But Chris Fletcher is the best dressed. So, So in comes, what did he call Destiny? She comes in. He don't no shade for her because he don't want to get read by her. They hug and kiss. Her earring falls. Child, why do he say, oh my God, you're losing your earrings. You lose earrings like you lose your men. Oh no. No. Besties, do you remember what her comeback was? Did she say something? Oh, I think she said something to the fact where and they always trying to come back or something like that. Oh boy. So what else? So then in comes Mel. He's like, the wonderful, incomparable, Melody Rogers. Come on, Bob. And so he had no shade for her, but her bob was bobbing. But didn't Tisha got a bob too, right? And so when Melody comes out, honey, Dr. Maurice Martin Luther King Jr. said, wow. Did y'all see that? He said, wow. Did he forget he was sitting next to his wife? He said, wow. So Carlos asked Destiny, am I going back and forth? I am. So Carlos asked Destiny, how does it feel? No, I'm not, because this is when he's getting into starting the reunion. He asked Destiny, how does it feel to be back, on the cast? She said, you're welcome. Destiny, we are here for it. She was like, you're welcome. And she meant that. So then they do a flashback, and this flashback is from like the first season of Martell, the beginning, I'll just say. But it's like Martell and Melody, when they were doing Holt and Holt, it was Martell and Marceau seeing their business, the evolution of their businesses. So it's Tisha asking, can she go to work? Is Tisha asking Marceau, can she get into real estate? Is Tisha saying, can I go back to school? Then they cover, the Holtz divorce and Holtz turning back into Rogers and Martell's arrest and the Schultz breaking up and the revenge P. We went through all of that. And I wasn't really clear on why we had to go back so far. I believe being that these seasons got cut and was on break and came back, and it's just prolonging everything. And then when you want to flash back to the past, I think you went too far. Like Melody and Martell don't even talk to each other on camera, and that's been so for years. So for you to even dip back to when they were married and divorced, like, why are we going back so far? So anyway, I guess there was a point that was to be made. I'm sure you're going to tell me in the comments. And of course, I do understand that. They're trying to show the evolution of everybody pretty much. But it was just like, why are we going back so far? But okay. They went back to season 1, back and forth and back and forth. So hold on. So Carlos asked Martell, is it difficult to see old memories of him and him and Melody? He said, of course, what we build, our kids, what we planned on doing. Mel said no. She said she sees her victories. He said, what do you mean by your victory? She said, reclaiming my independence. And so another question was asked, what was your relationship like, today? What is your relationship like today? Melody says, I'm not answering anything about him. I'm not answering that. Martell said that they are in a good place. And then they did a lot of editing because I guess Melody looked at him a certain way and he caught it because he had said like, oh man, oh my God, you got. And we were like, what? Where did that come from? And so Carlos King asked Martell, are you jealous of Marceau and Tisha? And he was like, nope. And so Carlos like, Tisha, is he rooting for you? And Martell says, wait a minute, hold on. Just because I'm not jealous of them does not mean I'm rooting for them. He said, I don't have no jealous bone in my body. I don't do that. I'm not hating. I'm just not rooting for them. And so Carlos is like, why? Why do you feel that way? And so Martell is just saying pretty much the things that Marceau has said and done and the things we've gone through and all the fakeness. I can't do it. So Kimmy is saying like, well, I guess there's a middle between hating and not rooting for people. And it's like, there is. You can just not like something and don't have to be hating because of it. So then Tisha says Martell has been trying to damage her and Marceau since season 1. So then Tisha and Martell, they have a back and forth and back again. And so, Tisha's like, you've been feeding information to the bloggers, to Melody, to Coleslaw. And Martell is like, bloggers? I don't even know what that is. I just found out yesterday what a blogger is. I don't talk to them. What are you talking about? Denying everything. So Melody is like, says who? Like who said all that? And so Martell is like, what is a blogger? And so Martell says to Tisha, you just scared of Melody because you know who it was. You know who's told. You just scared to say it. I ain't scared of Melody. It was always you. So Carlos asked Marcel, do you think Martel was jealous of you? And so Marcel says, at first I didn't, but now, he always saying in interviews that we want to be like him. And so Martel reminded Marcel, like, excuse you, sir, I've been building homes before you. And so Tisha asked Marcel, right, didn't he no, Martel tells Marceau, you didn't even finish that hotel job. And so Tisha asked him, the hotel, what is he talking about? The one you hired him to do? He said, yeah, the one I hired him to do. And he didn't do nothing. And I paid him for it anyway. Oh, and he still owes me $3,700. So, of course, Martel, liar. And so Marceau's like, I have receipts. So Carlos asked Martel, are you still harboring feelings of Marceau making fun of your cheating and infidelity? He says, yes. And I told him to stop. So Marceau said, they were at the cabin. Remember their friend, the light-skinned guy, the big tall one with the burly voice? He kind of stepped in and tried to help him and his wife, and they took him to a cabin. So Marceau brings up there is where he apologized because Martel told him that, that hurt and it wasn't cool. So he said he apologized and he changed his behavior. So that was a little dig to Martel. Like, when you apologize, the way you do that is to change behavior. So he said, so when I lost respect for him is when he threatened Mel about the revenge pee. Here go Martel. What video? Because I ain't seen one. You seen the video? Marceau hasn't seen it. The information came to Marceau. And when he thought about it, he knew it was true. And then he asked Melody, of course. So Mel has a screenshot of the video because Martel sent it to her. So Melody interrupts. She's like, hold on, let me speak on me. She said, we were in New York at Destiny and LeBarrick's wedding. That's why we were there. We was getting it on like wives and husbands do. I was sucking and looking and I was doing my thing. And so Martel's asking Mel questions. She raising her hand to shut him up because he's trying to cut her off and insert himself. And she doesn't talk to him on camera. And so she's like, she was very patient this episode. She kept her cool. She was demure. And I really wonder, Besties, like, what does Melody look at when she's just like staring out into the audience, not looking to the left or the right? What does she be looking at? Because she just got I guess you call that a poker face. And she just be looking straight until Carlos says something to her, unless, she needs to talk to Kimmy or whatever. But honey, she is not addressing Martel at all, okay? And so she said, yes, it was out of order. And, this is not the first time he tried to do this. She said, this is just the time I took action. Oh, we needed sound effects then, producers. We needed sound effects. So he's still asking for the video. And Mel is like not talking to him. And so Carlos had to remind him, like, Martel, Melody's not talking to you. Stop talking to her. And so Carlos brings up the warrant, Martel's warrant, the harassing communications. Did you ever take a picture of, take a screenshot of you and her in an intimate setting and text it to her? He said, yes. And so he said, well, what did you say? And so Martel is like, ask her. And so Carlos had to kind of put a little bass in his voice and raise his voice. And he said, I'm asking you, I'm asking you for the facts. I'm asking you. So then he said, she agreed, and that's why I got arrested. And was like, wait, what? And so Melody was like, no, he admitted to doing it in an interview. He kind of told on himself. That was the evidence. And that was enough to get him arrested. Okay? Because you cannot be harassing people, threatening to, the revenge P is just totally. But Martel is like, he don't even realize. So Carlos asked him, Martel, do you realize what you did was bad? He was like, that's not bad. You know, like he feel like that was my wine. That was her. And I sent it to her. But it's that plus the text that you sent. So Melody is just sighing like, and Marceau is laughing because he is like, man, this dude is stupid. And he was on telling Tisha, this dude is, unaliving me. He was like, wow, he right there. He gonna protect his boo, Martell. You see him where they was sitting. He was sitting with his boo. Melody is sitting with her future husband. Now they just got to get rid of Tisha. Stay focused. Okay, I'm sorry. So Martell's like saying, I sent the picture to her. And he just goes on and says all the things, that we go through and the things she's putting me through. And to this day, she just making it rough for me. And he is deflecting. And what it tells me, and he even says something where they all had to remind him that him and Melody are not joined at the hip. It is just like he still wants her to complete his sentences. He still has a desire for Melody. Oh, drinking the water, y'all. I gotta be slow when I talk about these people because I just want to explain to you, talking about a whole bunch of cast members whose names begins with M is challenging. It really is. You got to get your Martell, Marceau's, Maurice, Melody, Martell, Marquez. You got to get this together. And it is a job. It is a job. So Martell is like, what's wrong with that? Because you took the video of your wife and you tried to get others to send it out and say that it was another guy that she was in on, and that somebody was you. Oh, Martell, that's what she said to you? No. So Carlos King breaks it down to Martell because he acting crazy, but he's not. He's just really acting like a little kid. And so he had this, he's like, what did, no, he said what he did, and he had it said, he had to like break down to Martell what he did and what he said wasn't cool because he's backtracking. It's not okay, Martell. And so he was like, is it true that you were found guilty? No, hold on, wait a minute. Okay, is it true? So the question is it true that you were found guilty? This Negro gonna say no. What? Now, okay, I think I need to pause and go back because when they're talking about, they getting ready to get into the plea. And what I wanted to read the text that went with the picture that Carlos made Martell read or try to remember, but they had it posted. And what it said was, leave me the F alone. Stop speaking on me or anything about me. You're bullying me. You say one more thing about me at all, and I'm going to treat you like you treat me. We will go all the way in. It might ruin me, but you and your fans already trying. Now, please don't call my bluff because at this point, I'm tired of you. Oh, child, please. Knock it off. Martell, you are still in love with that girl. Please knock it all the way off. So he said he did not plead guilty. Carlos asked Melody. She's like, he pleaded guilty. No. What? You pleaded guilty. And so you ain't telling the whole truth. Oh, Melody, you were terrible. Oh, Melody, no, you didn't, Melody Rogers. No, you didn't. So she's like, he pleaded guilty and then he appealed. We're waiting on the appeal date. Mel, you're horrible. You're so pathetic, Melody Rogers. And she's like, do me a favor and don't talk to me. Marceau asked Carlos, who is he gonna believe, Martell or Martell? And child, that was hilarious. It was like, what is it? Yeah, you tell the truth and you lie all at the same time. Like that was so funny. Everybody's laughing. So Kimmy asked Martell, why didn't you? She said, why didn't you just explain it in your own words? You don't need Melody to help you and all that. Why are you throwing it on Melody? So Martell says, Melody can't explain it either. And they all like, she don't have to. I think it was Carlos and Kimmy saying it at the same time, probably Marceau too. And so it was like, she don't have to. And then Carlos had to tell him, Martell, y'all are not joint at the hip. So backstage, Martell said the courts never heard the claim. So they didn't hear his claim of being found guilty or whatever. They're trying to get it to a higher court. He's not guilty. Ask his attorney. Okay, whatever. Tisha Marceau says that Tisha was asked to post a picture of Mel and him. And so they like, what? Like, yeah. That's why Marceau lost respect for Martell. You're not finna do my boo any old kind of way. But of course, Marceau would love to see the video, but he not gonna tell, he not gonna ask Martell. I mean, that is his ex-wife now, So back on stage, Maurice, Dr. Martin Luther King, is asked to explain his DUI. He explained that he is being booked for it. He is being booked for a DUI. So he says the police suspected something and arrested him. What? You're talking about keeping it simple and trying not to talk without talking. Okay, bruh. So now this goes into a whole interrogation because Carlos wants facts. Carlos knows he's an attorney. Carlos wants to pull it out and has to pull it out. Did you hit a pole? That's accurate. Did you take a breathalyzer? Public records will show that. And I'll tell you guys now, he refused the breathalyzer. That's kind of why he got his case dismissed, because he refused. It seems like their laws are not that strict when it comes to DUIs. He refused it, and later on it just dropped. Are you representing yourself? No, I have an attorney. So he was like, this is an ongoing legal issue. And he was like, everyone here has convicted me before I've been proven guilty. I'm innocent until proven guilty. And so Kimmy is like, yeah, it's only a few of y'all on this stage that even called and checked on him to see if he was okay. You're talking about the case, but who actually called and checked on us? Destiny says she texted, and Tisha said that was the first thing she did. No one else. So here it goes. So where did you go after you left Black? Home to Kimmy. Where were you between Black and your arrest? Like, where were you? Traveling. Were you in a car? Yes, I was in a vehicle. Were you alone? Yes. Was Kimmy the last woman that you were with? Absolutely. They said y'all left the club separately. Here go Kimmy. Are you speculating that I was home? So Carlos is like, well, no, I actually watched the show. And in the scene that I watched, you said you were at home. That doesn't mean I went straight home after Black. Oh gosh. So Carlos was like, well, were you at Credit One after hours listening to Teddy Pendergrass? Drinking on some Johnny Walker or some Jim Beam, maybe? No, I never been there. Well, where did you go? This is not my line of questioning. So now you backpedaling. Like, why did you even insert yourself in the conversation? He wasn't even talking to you. He was talking to Maurice. So Carlos deemed her as a gaslighter. And so she was like, nah, this is a bunch of bull. We were all together until we left in separate cars. Well, where did you go? That's what Carlos want to know. Where did you go? Where was this man at from the time you left Black to getting booked at 12 p.m. Where were y'all? What happened? So she said she went to the office. And so Carlos is like, oh, credit one? And then she gonna say it's not called that anymore. Oh my gosh, Kimmy, seriously? So Carlos is like, so he was booked around 12, right? Uh-huh. So when you went to bed, you wasn't concerned that he wasn't in bed with you in the morning time? She said it's normal that Mo comes home in the morning. It's normal. Like, it's normal. I was not at all concerned. I mean, like a little, not overly concerned, normal concerned, I guess. Do you think Maurice is cheating on you? No. But I will not put it past him though. So if somebody came to me and told me, I wouldn't be shocked, whatever. And then he said the same for her. So we find out that they were together when Kimmy made her pit stop before she went home. And so Maurice said, gotcha. Good child. Listen here, cornball. Sit down and be quiet. Well, you're already sitting down, but be quiet. Nobody got nothing. We want to know where you went, boy. So when she was at home, sleep alone, were you there? Where were you? Traveling? I'm like, here we go with this. I'm tired. I'm already just tired. I'm sick of this. Next story. Can we go to somebody else? How about Destiny? Can we bring Trish and Ken out? Like, I'm tired of this whole. Can we wrap this up, Carlos? Because they not, I'm sick of it. The one word answers, repetitive, traveling. I was and I wasn't all at the same time. Traveling to home. I told you that earlier. Here go Carlos. So between 4 a.m. and 12 p.m., where were you? And Maurice gonna say, you'll get the rest of this story next year. What? What is happening right now? Okay. So I guess we'll get the rest of the story next season. So there will be a next season. We do know that. And now, since we won't have Melody next season, we got to hear about this DUI the whole season. I don't think so. You better find another couple. You better bring somebody. Are we going to get coleslaw? That would be a bad thing. But I will also, not too much of her, but I would like to see more of going into Martell's life. Like, do he date other women? What is going on? What's really the deal? Okay. And we need more about the housing market and building. We need more of that. I want that house that Marceau is building. I want it finished. What else is Kimmy and Maurice doing? What is going on with Scott Manor? Like, we need to get it going. Okay. Okay. So Carlos asked Maurice, well, how did you feel seeing Melody say you were irresponsible when you got your DUI, and how she feels about how it makes her feel because she lost a family member? And she disparaged my character, and I had plenty of opportunity to disparage hers, and I chose not to. It's telling to see people like for who they really are. So here go Melody. Listen here. I just gave my opinion, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., just like you've been doing 5 years plus of my previous marriage. Ooh. But we talked about it. Good luck. We moved on. Melody was like, we're not gonna make this a thing. Next. Melody's like, next. Okay. And so he says this is him versus Alabama. This case is him versus the state of Alabama, and he's gonna shut TFU now. And you know what STFU means, right? He gonna shut the bleep up now. Okay. Then Carlos asked Kimmy, why does she think Mel wants everyone to be a cheater? You think it's because of her experience? Oh gosh, why are we even like, why is this a question? Okay, it was in the season because she was leading. Okay, this is alluding to Maurice and the lipstick. Okay, right. Ooh, okay. Um, Kimmy says, I am exhausted. Okay, girl, go take a nap then. You know, Maurice, you had lipstick on your shirt, and it was a different color than Kimmy's lipstick. And so Kimmy is cracking up, y'all. It's just hilarious to her. So this is and so she's like, is it his shirt that had the lipstick, or was it his lips that had the lipstick? And baby, looking at his lips today, they're not rosy like they were in his mugshot. But we're gonna move on. Because if he was really drunk or had a lot of alcohol in him, maybe that make all his lightness turn red. You know, he is rather light. So Mel, would you tell Kimmy if oh yeah. So Carlos asked Melody, would you tell Kimmy if Maurice was cheating on her? And she was like, well, you know, me and Kimmy don't spend a lot of time together. She my friend, she cool, but we didn't grow up together, so probably not. And you know, she's older than me. What are you what? Okay. Okay, you just spewing facts, huh? She said, we're just not. Like, we just ain't there. That's just not my girl. We not that. No, that's for Tisha to do, not me. Okay. I ain't finna just go in and out with Kimmy. I'd rather not. She's older than me. I'm trying to respect her. Is that what we doing? I can't have both of the old women on this show coming for me. I already got to fight Nell because she thinks she's my mentor. And so she said she would tell the person, she would ask the person, what you telling me for? You better get out my face with all of that. So Kimmy says, well, you know, I would want you to tell me. I would want you to tell me rather than these underhanded comments because they ain't cool. I was like, okay, Kimmy, that's what I'm talking about. I like these little underhanded comments. They ain't cool, boo. Whew. And so Melody's like, well, let's let the record reflect, boo. I don't talk about Maurice and you. I don't talk about y'all. The lips was a big topic of conversation on social media. That's what I was addressing. I was just making my opinion. We didn't sit down and talk about, yo, oh, hold on, y'all. This is Kimmy. Well, you know how it is. Like, you know, for us, like we wasn't sitting down, walking around, you know, talking about your bad butt job. I was like, wait, what? Y'all didn't tell me Melody had a butt job. Y'all didn't tell me she had a little BBL going on back there. That's fake. And you told me I have to come and have a meeting with you and Martell because I touched him. And you know I don't want that man. And so, you know, Melody is telling Kim, like, Kimmy, like, come on, girl. That was a key moment. Like, come on, girl. And she said, you know, girl, Kimmy was ready. She was ready. She said, I take Kiki moments on the chin. Her voice is amped up, y'all. I take Kiki moments on the chin. But when I give them back, that's when it's a problem. I was like, ooh, Kimmy. This is the Kimmy that was in St. Thomas checking the mess out of Nail. I don't need you to get in this. I got this. She said, but when I do it, it's a problem. Y'all heard how she said problem. You talk about what you heard, and it's okay. But when we do it, we're in trouble, and we got to have a meeting with you. Ooh, it was clear you didn't want to talk about this ongoing case. This is what Melody says to her. You know, you didn't want to talk about it when I came to you. So I respectfully am respecting that. So when you came to me, I said I wasn't talking about it. And child Kimmy said, bullshit. beep. And that was the end of part one, honey. Kimmy is getting ready to light up that whole stage. I can feel it coming. I can feel it in my soul. It's coming. Kimmy about to everybody. She has had it up to here. And she gonna have to keep that battery in her back because with Melody leaving and gone and has quit, she out, y'all. You already know. I already know because it's Sunday. You already heard. Melody has quit Love and Marriage Huntsville. She needed to. It was time. St. Thomas was telling because she brought her own crew of friends. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. We inviting others, and you could tell how she was just sitting there, just getting all the stuff on the table. Cause that's what you do when you wrapping things up. You want to clear up everything. She was getting everything. And Tisha was all like, we finna get everything on the table. We gonna talk about everything. That was like the Last Supper, y'all. At that table at the restaurant with Stormy and Tisha, when Tisha wouldn't talk, not Tisha, Trisha wasn't talking, and Stormy was like, wait a minute. Girl, that was the Last Supper when Destiny finally came. Yep. It's time for her to go. We wish her well because it would be good for Melody to go on and do her thing. She don't need to be around this toxicity. It is just, this is too much. And how long are we going to be, the divide between her and Martell? I'm ready for the whole show when everybody comes together. All these just missing parts. Some episodes you got the Mo and Kimmy not there, Martell wasn't there, or Melody wasn't there, or it's just, or even Marcel and Tisha wouldn't even be in the whole episode. And that's not to say that was because of Melody. It's just that it would be good to see a whole, even if they're filming separately. And that's what I say about Love and Hip Hop. They know how to film separate stories. They don't all have to be friends in a core group. You know what I'm saying? They do come together, but sometimes they can record separately and just have a story and not even know the other people. Or at least that's how it used to be. I don't really watch it anymore, but that's what I remember. That's why that thing is still on the air. Because they got what it takes. What's her name? Mona Scott Young. She got it. She know what it takes. So anyway, and what it takes is she don't mind bringing new people in, and it's time to shake up this cast. It's time for some new folks. Let's break the fourth wall. Good luck to you, Melody. You'll do great. Your followers love you. You got it going on. You got what you needed from this show. You showed us and gave us everything. Let's think about it. Melody has had her kids on, her marriage, the arguing with the marriage, the breaking up, the cheating, the divorcing, the courts, all the content creators running down all their business. We've met her brother, her mother. She's moved to another house. She started a business with the skincare, 7th Avenue. She we're singing. She has tried to mend friendships. She's tried to bring people in. She has fell out with everybody. She has sold her t-shirts, her sweatshirts. She's done conferences. She has, she's given it to us. Have I missed anything? She has given it to us. She's tried to do co-parenting on a vacation with Martell. She has given it to us. It's time to go. It's time to go. And you got to grow. And you don't need to grow on camera. She'll probably get another show. I don't know why so many people want her to get on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She don't live in Atlanta. Was she supposed to go live with her brother to film for 5 months? I guess. I bet you he'll let her. So I wish her well, and I wish the show well. I think it can move forward at least for another season or two. This will be a lot of stepping up for the girls, but they need someone else to come in because it has been what it has been. We tried to get Tiffany and Lewis. We've had Stormy and Courtney. you know, a little Sonny and Moses and Destiny, so no throuples. So we need something else. Let's bring it and move, push forward and keep going. And I'm just really, I would like to see how this moves forward. And I hear, Kingdom Reign, there's a lot of drama going on. We already know, we hear stuff that Carlos ain't cool because the proof is in the pudding. Who just quit? Okay, let's remember for Christmas, Keisha quit Bell Collective, right? For New Year's, So Gucci quit Bell Collective. And now here is Melody quitting for Black History Month. Ciao. You'll be all right, Carlos. Carlos, you be all right. But hey, Melody said she quit the show back in December. So this reunion was filmed in October. They got their letters in December. And, she said, ta ta, nah, nah, I'm good. But you could tell it was, by the time you sitting here got me sitting down questioning Trisha about my ex-husband from 4 or 5 years ago, yeah, it's time to go. Cause that was like, it is time to go. That was the writing on the wall right there. You got me asking about Martell to this girl that's lying and her husband trying to flirt with me. Let me go and get my purse and get off this show. We wish her well. Okay, besties, I'll see you in the next review. I'll be back with another review. It'll be Potomac and then Married to Medicine. And I think Potomac isn't today. Isn't tonight? Is it reunion number 1? Yes, it's the reunion. Ooh, child. Okay, I'll be back, y'all. Bye, besties.